Hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in for our very first episode of Locked and Loaded. The plan is to keep each show short, to the point, and hopefully fun. We hope to air a new episode about once a month, and we'll typically cover 2 or 3 topics per episode. And by the way, we realize that our audience will vary from industry newbies to some seasoned veterans out there, so we'll be working hard to tailor our content so that everyone takes away something useful. So with all that being said, let's get the show on the road. From my father developing the first self-storage facility in the state of Virginia back in 1973 to becoming a trusted industry leader 4 decades later, here at the Nicholson Companies, we've seen firsthand the changes and challenges in an industry now valued at over $40 billion and with as many locations as corporate giants, Starbucks, McDonald's, and Subway combined. So now, with the help of Scott, Camille, and my son Edward, we're breaking industry stereotypes and sharing our knowledge, expertise, and yes, sometimes a little humor with our fellow self-storage operators to help you thrive in today's competitive self-storage industry. I'm Tom Nicholson, and this is Locked and Loaded. You know, I've seen a lot of changes over the 50 years or so that I've been in the self-storage business, most of which I would describe as incremental or gradual changes. Others are truly profound industry shifts, or game changers as I call them. From my vantage point, there have only been a handful of those. For example, the introduction of climate-controlled storage in the late 80s not only introduced a new product line, but began to change the way the public viewed self-storage, and was really part of what propelled it out of the industrial parks and into acceptance as a mainstream retail use. The operational transition from the live-in on-site caretaker couple to a single non-resident manager in the late 90s impacted everything from marketing to the advent of call centers. Why call centers, I'm sure you're thinking. We studied it early on and discovered that a single manager, no matter how well trained, simply cannot answer the phone all the time. In fact, we found that our managers were missing about 50% of inbound calls. The introduction of multi-story construction in the late 90s and early 2000s really solidified the place of self-storage among other retail uses and, importantly, facilitated obtaining difficult rezonings and use permits for locations that would have been impossible a decade earlier. And finally, the latest game changer, which is going on right now as I speak, is the transition from fully staffed management model to the remotely operated facility with no on-site staff. There are various factors propelling this transition, which Camille will get into in just a few moments, but I'm confident that it's here to stay and that the industry will look very different 10 or even 5 years from now as a result. Remote operations is a complex topic, so we'll be covering it in a number of upcoming episodes, beginning with an overview today and drilling down in great detail in future episodes. So enjoy the show, and I hope we do a good enough job so that I'll see you next time. Do I have to do any more takes? Isn't that enough? I don't know. Anyway. And now I'm going to turn it over to Camille. Where's my Manhattan? Just get my goddamn martini.
Thanks, Tom, and welcome to Locked and Loaded. I think it's only right that we start our new video series with an introduction to one of the hottest topics in our industry right now. What are you doing?
What are you talking about?
You're making noise. I'm trying to film. This is my segment.
It's like your 15th cut. I got hungry.
You don't even need to be here right now. Go wait for your segment somewhere else.
I wanted to sit here and watch you bomb.
Oh, get out of here and close the door on your way out.
Fine.
Don't choke.
Taking my popcorn with me.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, I think it's only right that we start our new video series with an introduction to one of the hottest topics in our industry right now, remote management. I don't know why Tom wants me to make sure I start my segment asking, what is remote management? Like, the viewers don't already know. It's remote management. It's managing remotely. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is remote management? Well, it's essentially when a storage operator no longer subscribes to the traditional management style requiring an on-site manager presence 6 or 7 days a week, and instead operates the site without a true on-site office. Well, let's start the discussion with an analysis of the main drivers of the move to remote self-storage operation. This operational approach has actually been around for years and was utilized by some small facilities where it just didn't make good economic sense to have a full-time manned on-site office. Remote management really gained momentum during the COVID-19 pandemic, when many operators felt they had no choice but to shut down the office and consumers wanted to avoid contact. While our industry initially went into a panic over the lockdown orders, this ultimately pushed operators to realize that remote operation was not only a perfect solution to the current problem, but a possible permanent business solution moving forward. Thanks to recent technology advances like cloud-based everything, from security cameras and gate and management software to the ability for prospective customer to review and sign their lease online, make a payment, and immediately receive a gate access code, remote operations have been streamlined to the point that if something like that ever happens again, we're ready. Even the introduction of smart locks that allow the customer to receive a code to remove the lock on their newly rented unit at any time, and interactive site maps that allow them to pick their unit and be guided to it when on site have further eliminated the need to stop by the office to interact with a manager. Many sites are also now using QR codes. You know, those funny little pixelated images that many restaurants want you to scan to be able to see their menu. Well, these can also be used to direct storage customers to an online platform where they can perform a variety of tasks related to their account. Some technology providers have even bundled these features into a sleek virtual kiosk that activates automatically on the customer's mobile device upon their arrival at the site, simplifying the rental experience at a remotely managed property. And remote customer support is evolving too. AI-assisted call centers now help handle inbound calls more efficiently, making the live agent usage more effective. And soon, these tools may be within financial reach of even the smallest operators. Many websites now offer live chat, and some, provided by companies like LiveSwitch, even offer live video chat that can function without the requirement of a downloaded application on the customer's end. Another driver of remote management is the desire to eliminate ongoing staffing headaches. If you're an owner-operator, making sure your store is always staffed during office hours or going through the process of hiring and training a new employee can really put a stress on your operations. This has become particularly challenging in the post-COVID world, where a large portion of the workforce became used to working from home, or in many cases, stopped working altogether and just didn't return. And let's face it, how many of us have ever retained a poorly performing manager because the hassle of going through the hiring and training process was just too time-consuming or intimidating? But perhaps the most compelling reason to consider remote management is the cost savings. By largely eliminating the staffing requirement for the office, owners enjoy a significantly increased profit line. For a site with lower income due to its size or lower market rents, the reduced staffing expense can generate a substantial increase in profitability. On the flip side, the savings generated by this approach for a site with higher income and expense numbers may not be as compelling. Revenue opportunities like merchandise sales or truck rentals that require an on-site presence should also be evaluated. We recently analyzed the remote options for one of our owners who has very robust U-Haul and merchandise sale platforms. As it turns out, the savings generated by going remote were almost entirely offset by the loss of these revenue streams. While this may be an extreme example, this demonstrates that every facility is different and should be analyzed individually. Well, I don't want to step on Ed's time. So that's it for today. In the meantime, if you have any questions about remote management or anything in general, feel free to send me an email. And with that being said, I'm going to toss it to Ed. Look at that, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Huh.
Thanks, Camille. Now that Camille has given a brief overview of the benefits of remote management, many of you are going to be wondering about something very important. How do you rent units when there's not a staffed office on site? Well, there are multiple ways to do that, but since you don't have a manager sitting there, technology is going to play a very big role. You might utilize a call center or a kiosk, but let's talk about the single most critical piece of technology you have at your disposal for generating rentals: your website. Today's dynamic website will not only produce the lion's share of rental leads and inquiries, but it must also be able to facilitate the customer's ability to complete the entire rental process without human intervention. Now let's drill down a bit into the important features you'll want to look for as you analyze the various website offerings available to you. The first thing I'd like to point out is that I'm sitting in an office with an iPad, 2 different size computer monitors, I got a cell phone. Anyone with a smartphone has visited a website at some point that wasn't optimized for all devices and encountered distorted, misaligned, truncated content and images. An intuitive website will feature display optimization, which means it's designed to automatically adjust to different screen sizes and will be easy to navigate and have a clean look, whether you're viewing a large desktop monitor or a screen as small as a cell phone. I'm a visual learner, and I assume a lot of you probably are as well, so it might be easier if I show you what we're talking about. I'm going to jump on the internet here, and if you want to follow along, I'll show you exactly what you're looking for in a website.
You're going to show them?
Yeah, who else better to do it?
Anybody else? Maybe Scott. I don't know how Scott got out of being the one to talk about the websites. I mean, and then we have Ed doing it. Scott's the IT guy. Ed can't even build an effective sales funnel. I mean, why would he talk about websites?
Sorry about that, guys. As you can see, each displayed unit should have a prominently displayed monthly price, clearly defined unit attributes, and an easily understandable move-in special. By unit attributes, I'm referring to more than just climate control or non-climate control designation. A unit's exact location on site, inside or drive up, at the back of a long hallway or near the elevator, etc., can now be displayed on your website via map software designed for this purpose. The physical characteristics of a unit, such as a pole inside, high ceiling, perhaps an unusually small or large door, even a problematic rain lip impairing a customer's ability to wheel heavy items into a drive-up unit, or any other positive or negative features that impact the desirability of a particular unit should be disclosed and priced accordingly. Move-in specials, strike-throughs, and limited supply statements are collectively referred to as calls to action and are designed to establish urgency and incentivize the consumer to rent right then. Some of the more sophisticated websites also have waiting list and abandoned shopping cart features that enable facility personnel to follow up with the consumer with another attempt to close the sale. Your system should be enabled to automatically email the customer soon afterwards with a link back to their abandoned shopping cart, and may even offer the ability to send abandoned cart customers a text message with another call to action, such as an additional 10% off the move-in or a free lock or whatever. This should get the customer to click back to the cart and finish the sale. A high-quality website will also have the ability to be fully integrated with a revenue management platform so that it will display dynamic specials. Dynamic specials are when a website automatically adjusts and displays rates and move-in specials in real time as your inventory changes. Some websites may have this feature built in, or they may interface with an advanced third-party revenue management platform. But at a minimum, your website should integrate with the revenue management features that are included with the management software you're using. If the management software you're utilizing doesn't have revenue management, it's really behind the times, and it's impairing your ability to maximize the revenue stream from your facility. By the way, revenue management is a very complex topic in and of itself, and we'll be doing a deep dive into this in a future episode. So if this interests you, stay tuned. The name of the game in online rentals today is keeping the process simple and fast. Your website should capture the minimal required customer contact information to get started, then move the customer immediately to the payment screen. Getting to the payment screen before the contract screen gets the commitment sooner. It's always preferable to collect the initial customer contact information and payment within the first minute. We know the rental process is ultimately going to take longer than a minute, of course, but taking a payment within that first minute reduces the likelihood that the customer will get cold feet as they read through the lease or other pages. There's one other important feature I'd like to present to you today. Most operators think the process is over when the lease and other documents are signed, even if you've taken that payment. But there's one final critical step. There's only one person who can advocate for your facility better than your employees, and that's a satisfied customer. A great feature is to include a link that is embedded in your website as part of the rental flow, or is automatically sent to the customer immediately at the conclusion of the rental process, that encourages the customer to leave a review on your website, Google, or whatever media you choose. Hearing directly from your satisfied customer is one of the most effective, efficient sales tactics available. That being said, it's my honor and privilege to say we've ended our first episode of Locked and Loaded.
Cut. Hey, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm killing it. I'm ending the episode.
Yeah, but no, you had your segment, Ed, but with all due respect, your father is doing the sign-off.
Edward, come on. Did you honestly think you were going to get to do the rap on the show?
And here I thought I was going to be able to close out the whole show, and I was told I wouldn't. This is
So, to those of you who are with us on our very first episode, thanks for watching. Here's to you.
Now I'm just stuck with my Skinny Pop. At least Skinny Pop never lets me down. Skinny Pop. Snack of self-storage. I think I might be onto something, guys. This is my get-rich idea. We need to get some product placement in here, and I don't know. We got editing, right? You guys need to remove this. We're not showing anything unless we're getting paid. we're gonna make money. It's product placement, and then they'll pay us, right? They just give us money. Skinny Pop is gonna be the snack of self-storage. Skinny Pop, Skinny Pop, Skinny Pop. Skinny Pop? Well, how would you know who I was talking about if I didn't say Skinny Pop?